A man fell in a hole. He fell in a hole and he couldn't get out. A traveler passed by. He told the man to meditate, to purify his mind, and when he reached nirvana, all suffering would cease. The man did as he was told, but he remained in the hole. Another man appeared. He explained that the hole didn't exist, and neither, in fact, did the man. It was all an illusion. The man who did not exist was still stuck in the hole that was not there. Another visitor arrived. He instructed the man to perform good deeds to improve his karma, and though he would still die in the hole, he might be reincarnated as something magnificent. Another man looked down from above. He taught the man to pray 5 times a day facing east and to follow 5 important tenets. If he was faithful, one day, perhaps, the divine would set him free. The man prayed as best he could, but he was losing strength, and in the hole he remained. Another man appeared. There was something different about him. He called down to the man in the hole and asked him if he wanted to be free. This man lowered himself into the earth, into the pit. He took hold of the man and dragged him into the light. And the man in the hole, who could not get himself out, was saved.
Amen. This man that we're talking about, his name is Jesus. The most famous man in all of human history. More songs have been sung about him, artwork created of him, and books written about him than anyone else who's ever lived. In fact, this man, Jesus, he looms so large over our life and human history that we've actually measured our time by him. Our calendar is divided into years before and after his death. No army, no nation, or person has ever affected human history more than this man, Jesus. Matter of fact, even some 2,000 years after he walked the earth, Jesus still remains as hot as ever. Matter of fact, just look on the television shows of today. He still makes appearances on the animated series called The Simpsons. Or if you catch A&E, there's a show called Dog the Bounty Hunter. This mace-shooting, chain-smoking, mullet-wearing posse who prays to God, prays to Jesus to be with him as he goes into his manhunt. In the world of fashion, Jesus appears on many, many different t-shirts. The latest is one, Jesus is my homeboy, worn by people such as Madonna, Ashton Kutcher, Ben Affleck, Brad Pitt, and even Pamela Anderson. You get into films, over 100 films have been made about this man called Jesus, including top-grossing movies like The Passion of the Christ, The Da Vinci Code, along with Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, where in this movie, Ricky Bobby prays to the 8-pound, 6-ounce baby Jesus. Get into the sports world. It seems like every time someone scores a touchdown, every time somebody throws a no-hitter, every time somebody hits a shot at the buzzer, or somebody knocks somebody else out, they always give praise and honor to Jesus Christ, affectionately known as my coach or the big guy upstairs. So you see, there's a lot of different ideas about this man they call Jesus. So as I thought about this week, and I thought about this message in this series called Light that we're doing, I wonder, is this really how Jesus wants us to think about him? Is this really an accurate picture of who he is? Is this really how God would communicate to us today who he is? I mean, in our culture today, these are the pictures, the images, and these are the things that are shaping people's worldviews, their eyes, their minds, and their life. Do our movies and our athletes and our fashion really give us an accurate picture of who Christ is? I may be taking a risk here this morning, stepping out on a limb by myself, but I just don't think there are movies and our television shows and our athletes were ever meant to describe our God to us. I just don't think so. See, in this world in which we live, where there's all these opinions and images of who this Jesus really is, what are we to believe? See, thankfully, God has given us something more certain, something more sure. He's given us his word. Not just any word, but the word. And the word became flesh, and he dwelt among us. So that's what we're talking about in this series called Light. John chapter 1. You see, I believe that John, who wrote this apostle, who wrote this gospel, I believe he wrestled with the same things we wrestle with today. See, just who is this one they call Jesus, and what significance does he even have on my life? Who is this guy? See, and I believe that John lived in a day and age where the culture around him was desperately searching for something that was real, just like our culture here in Austin, Texas is looking for something that is authentic, something that is not tied to a place, but has its meaning in a person, the very person of Jesus Christ. You look at John's gospel as a whole, and you'll see that there's a purpose statement, really a mission of his whole gospel, and here it is in John 20:31. He says this, "But these have been written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing you may have life in his name." You see, Great Hills family this morning, listen, we're not here to simply come into this building and sing a few songs about his name and hear a little message about his life and then walk away and then go live our life the way we want to. See, Christ didn't die for that. It's not what the gospel is all about. Understand, God has called us and placed us in Austin, Texas, that we as a community of faith might begin to not only embrace and meditate on the greatness and the glory of our God through Jesus Christ, but we might take that revelation in our life and through our life and then begin to take it to those who are far from God in Austin, Texas, that it might change their life.